ameniona, nitamrukia Yesu, kwa kuwa yeye ameniona, ameniona, amekuona, ameniona, ameniona, oh, nitamwimbia Yesu, kwa kuwa yeye ameniona, nitamwimbia Yesu, kwa kuwa yeye amekuona, amekuona, ameniona, amekuona. Hallelujah. Chezea Yesu. Hallelujah. Ni kwa neno wa wendo, wendo yonene tone Yesu, otale mungo yene mungu, nendo wa magia, goro ya kane akena, goro ya kwera tuma tuma, goro ya kwe kaigwa wega, metondo muhono pia. Aduri mwatorera mwathani ninye, murethiaga na mutinoge, muriomokaga na makagutare, na inyue murethiaga na mutinoge. Aduri mwatorera mwathani ninye, murethiaga na mutinoge, muriomokaga na makagutare, na inyue murethiaga na mutinoge. Na mwini watorera Ngai ũyũ nawe, murethiaga na ndũkanoga, ũrĩamũgaga na makagũtarĩria, murethiaga na ndũkanoga. Nyoka kwĩra kanitha tũgatiga mũthenya tũgĩre, rĩrĩa Mwathani okaga kwĩra kanitha tũgatiga mũthenya tũgĩre Jesũ. Iburahĩmu nĩerirwo nĩ Ngai, aime bũrũri-inĩ wa warathimwo. Iburahĩmu nĩerirwo nĩ Ngai, aime bũrũri-inĩ wa warathimwo. Nĩ mũgendi na mũthami gũkũ thĩ, njetereire Jesũ acoke tũinũke. Nĩ mũgendi na mũthami gũkũ thĩ, njetereire Jesũ acoke tũinũke. Hallelujah. Chezea Yesu. Baba nĩũkenaga hĩndĩ ĩrĩa ũkũgocwo nĩ arĩa wĩyũmbĩire. Baba nĩũkenaga hĩndĩ ĩrĩa ũkũgocwo nĩ arĩa wĩyũmbĩire. Kwanĩrĩra njuge na mũgambo atĩ nĩwe Ngai. Kwanĩrĩra njuge na mũgambo atĩ nĩwe Ngai. Marĩtwa nĩ maingĩ mũhuro warĩo wana ũrĩa kunene. Marĩtwa nĩ maingĩ mũhuro warĩo wana kunene. Kwanĩrĩra njuge na mũgambo atĩ nĩwe Ngai. Kwanĩrĩra njuge na mũgambo atĩ nĩwe Ngai.
Welcome back to Sunday Best, and in case you're just joining us, today we are particularly speaking about marriages and encouraging everyone at home that marriage does actually work, but it is also work. So today we are here with Pastor Kanjagua, and before we went on a break, we were speaking about the evolution of marriage and just getting to understand how was marriage working and what the current state of marriage is now. Now, I am very particular. You know, Ndiema, it's interesting that this week, actually, I think yesterday, I happened to bump into TD Jakes, and he was speaking with Sarita Jakes, the wife, regarding how to win at home. Because Christians, we are winning in businesses, we are winning in careers, we are winning in other things, but how about winning at home? And he was speaking particularly about his marriage, having been married for 41 years. And it's interesting to just to learn, and before that when the break Ndiema ulikuwa unasema that you know how even in your community men used to take unasema
Wote ni watoto wangu.
Habari ya
watoto. The wife is also part of
is part of that.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to know in marriage, for I know you will get to tell us more about how marriage works, but what are some of these stages? Junajua unaingianga kwa marriage kidogo kidogo, first year. People have different experiences. I've had people saying the first year of marriage is the toughest. Hapo ndio unajua huyu anatupanga socks kwa mlango, huyu anafinya toothpaste katikati. And others say the first year of marriage was bliss for me. So what are some of these stages and how can we make sure that tumepita stages zote with understanding?
Actually, hautapita stages zote.
Okay.
It is a cycle
that
you go back to.
Right.
The stages of marriage, I've done it in the book. The stages of marriage begin from romance and explosion. And it's beautiful and you are enjoying every moment of it. Na hapo ndio mnafichiana white kidogo. You want to look good, feel good. That time you're always smelling nice. The ladies wake up, they powder themselves.
Putting your best foot forward.
They go back to bed so that when you wake up, they're looking all nice and flashy. So the romance stage is where now you enjoy life. There's no strain, there's no problem. Even when the problems come, you find solutions very fast.
And some you throw under the carpet.
And some you throw under the carpet and you forget them, and then the carpet is raised because there are so many things under. So that is the first stage of marriage where you're talking about romance and everything is okay and everything is nice and you're happy, you are excited. Then after that we come to the settlement.
Right.
After people come from honeymoon, and honeymoon in this case is not just when you do a wedding. Honeymoon is when you're now coming down from that place of romance, explosion, and all that. Now you come back to life and you are now settled. Now things start running. That is when you realize anafinyanga toothpaste katikati. That is when you realize anatoleanga socks kwa mlango. That is when you realize analalanga na sengenge ni ng'ombe na analalanga na kitu ingine kwa kichwa. That is when you realize, because now you're settling down. Now you are at that place where you're not flashing so much. I might not be able to take you out so many times. We now have to work with what we have. We are eating home every day. I'm not able to bring meat every day, hata kama ni ya kukopa, because that is where we are. We have agreed that we are settling down. And then the third stage of marriage is the power struggle. Where both of us want to show, by the hata mimi naweza sema. And that is when the wife will cook and eat with the children and wash the utensils. And then you come home, unauliza hakuna chakula huku.
And during this stage, majorly, is the time when the wife blossoms.
Yes.
The man has been in charge, you know, doing things. But then the wife realizes, hey, excuse me, I also have a stake in this marriage. So the power that the man had, slowly the wife thinks, yeah, I can also, I'm a stakeholder.
At that particular time, you find most of the men, sometimes you get a job outside of home. And when you come back, she realizes, actually, I've been doing this thing that you do. And there's nothing that went wrong. Actually, we used to eat meat every day. When you are not there, when you are here, things are not going very well. So you are struggling with power. All of us want to show power play gets into play. And you want to show, I can also say, you will not watch the TV. I can also say you will wash the utensils. I can also say you will get half of the rent. And that place we are struggling to show each other that we are I am also viable. Then stage number 4 after all that is now the resettling. The resettling is when now you have done all these struggles. You have gone through all these things, and now you have realized there's nowhere we are going. Actually, there's nowhere we are going. Stay. We are here to stay. This is our place. We need to build it together. And then you come back to where you are building it together. And it is you and the other person that you have agreed. This is what you are going to do. You are going to work on this marriage until it becomes. And then after now the resettlement, it takes you back to the romance. And then the cycle happens again. You might struggle with money today, and then when you go back through the cycle, you're struggling with sex. Then you go back through the cycle, you're struggling with responsibilities. Then you go back through the cycle. It is always a new thing after another because you're always conquering.
That's true.
When we have a problem with finance and we find a solution for finance, that does not mean that solution for finance will work when we have a communication problem.
Yes.
So we will go back to the struggle again, struggling about communication. So when we struggle about communication, we find a solution, then we go back through the romance, because the romance will be taking us from the place of now we have found a solution for our communication. So we are talking very nicely. Then we still go back to the place where we are now struggling with raising the children. Who disciplines the children? So it is always a cycle that you go through again and again, and it does not end.
I have 1,005 questions.
Him saying that makes me actually understand that marriage is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And I think that's why if you don't have this understanding, then utafika stage fulani and you're like, okay, it's not working, you know?
Yeah, many questions. Let me ask the core one. Do you mean, you know, the way you umeisema ni kama life, marriage is a struggle. I want you to break that down for us. And as you do that, there are people I know, and ours was that kind of a case, where in the beginning, it is not romance and, you know, bliss. In the beginning, it was war. You get in there and you realize, wow, who you them? Tukidate, I thought
you
she was...
having questions.
Yeah, you're thinking,
did I make the wrong choice?
Yeah, so please explain that for us.
You see, marriage does not begin when you wed.
I like that.
Marriage begins when you start courting.
Okay.
So when you start courting is when now we are starting to have this conversation, because this is where we are going. We are starting to have this conversation.
Serious conversation,
yes. And the problem is we don't ask these questions when we are dating. I came to realize the biggest problem as a church, and I accept the blame also as a pastor, the biggest problem is that we do premarital counseling when we start saying, I want to get married.
Yes.
So when you come for premarital counseling, your mind is mtu wa mchele, mtu wa maua. So our attention will be quickly shifted
to the day.
We will be having the struggles. Yes, we will be having all this bliss and going for dates, but our dates are structured to, we are talking about the wedding. We are not talking about the marriage. So it is not that you started with the problem. It is just that when your marriage started in the courtship, you are in the romance. You are enjoying yourselves. You could go out. You would do all that. Then when you entered into the house, now when you started living together, that is when now you entered into crisis. And this crisis is now, we don't understand one another. So why do you tell me, why do you speak to me like that? And especially people that are men that have married firstborns, it becomes even worse because for her, you are like the smaller brother. And you used to wake up, as a firstborn, you used to wake up, tell all your brothers, wewe pika chai, wewe osha vyombo, wewe fanya.
So now you start with the husband.
Now you enter into the marriage and you wake up in the morning, excuse me, you cannot continue sleeping. Amka, wewe ndo unaosha nyumba, mimi niki.
Na utengeneze hiyo kitanda.
And you see, it is not something that you have planned. It is something that you are used to.
That's true.
So most of the people, it is not that they start in the problem. Because if the problem is there, then you would not get married. But you started with bliss, but at one point you find yourself in a particular problem. Now the biggest problem that we have in this generation is that we are willing to let go of the ball when we get to the crisis. And we forget there is another stage. We forget that there is a place where we will settle down. We will enjoy ourselves. We will go back to romance. We will go back to that fun that we used to have. We will go back to going out for dates. And most of the people, again, those that are able to go through the stages, some of them, wanafika mahali, they are already so hurt, they are already so wounded, that when you go back to the romance phase, you're walking on a landmine. You know that I can step here and ilipuke. So you are very careful and very cautious on what you do. So it is always a cycle that happens again and again, again and again.
There's something important you've said about, firstborns being, a lady being the firstborn, and as a certain authority, which makes me wonder, would you say there are personalities that if they mix together, then kutakuwa na shida mingi sana kwa marriage?
I've done this in the book again. The temperaments. The different kind of temperaments and the way we relate with one another. It's also in the book. There are temperaments, there are people that you cannot put together. For example, let me give you a good example. If you are loud and your husband is loud, that is like one matatu coming full light and another matatu coming full light. That is a collision in the making. Because the moment you get excited, either negatively or positively, you start talking and he starts talking. Nobody will listen to the other. The best combination is when you are loud and I'm silent. So I will listen to you.
But Pastor,
yes.
So what does that mean? Is there a possibility of working that out?
Yes, there is. It requires, that is where we go back to marriage's work.
Right.
Where you two come down and agree. We are actually, this is who we are.
Yeah.
But for every temperament, it is made by situations. Because most of the people that are loud are either hiding something or have been mistreated before. So they become loud to become a defense.
Right.
And those that are silent, some is because wamezoea kushautiwa. So because of the shouting and the shouting,
the defense as well.
Yes, it's also a defense. So we sit down because this is your friend that you're talking to, and you agree that this is where we are taking our marriage. Most of the marriages do not have a vision, do not have a place they are going. So because they don't have a place they are going, any destination is a destination.
That's right.
So any destination is where they arrive. So when you have a place that you are heading to, when you have an agreement that we are building a marriage where I know you are loud and I am loud, but we are going to build a marriage where we can talk to one another. That place, we always work towards that place.
Do we have definitions of time? Like the romance stage is between 1 year to 10 years. This one is 10 years to 15, or is it different for different couples?
It is different for different. Every couple is different, and every struggle is also different. You might find one, they're struggling with money because they're of the lack, and another one they're struggling with sex because of a past experience, and another one is struggling with children because they have never had children. They have never seen children growing in their family. At least maybe wewe ulilelewa ukilea watoto wenyu. Mwingine anashikanga mtoto kwanza anamnusa. Kujua kama ananuka ndio kama atamshika. So we are at different stages and at different levels. And these different stages and levels now make us have the conversation of where are we as a couple. Every marriage is different. Every person is different. And every growth rate is different.
Now, our time is up. Nasikia director akisema I am finished. Time is up. Time is up.
I desire to, and I desire that you read this book, because right in there are many of the questions probably you're having now that you'll find answers right in there.
And
how
maybe
do you
can
find this one?
tell us it.
This is, we have the book, which can be read by anyone, a couple, a single person, that wants to get more information on what marriage is all about and what relationships are all about. You can get this book. But this one is specifically for couples. This is specifically for people that are already married. Because what it does is it helps you to ask questions. It structures your communication. We have said that marriage is all about communication. So this structures your communication. It has questions. Then at the tail end of it, it has 40 days of prayer for your spouse. So it guides you on what to pray on every specific day of the 40 days. So these two books can be found at different bookshops in town, in Nairobi. Then also, I don't know if it's okay, I give a number that maybe you can call. You can call 0725 884 667. 0725 884 667. The book will be delivered, we deliver all over by the different delivery modes that we have. And also if anyone has something that you would also want to talk about when it comes to marriage, and also just speaking out, sometimes it's just someone to listen to you and just give you a solution and just talk about it. If you want to have a talk, conversation, that is the same number to call.
Lovely.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. So this is the book, this is the workbook, so get one for yourself. The contact is right there. And let's make marriages work.
Yeah,
Charity,
let's build strong marriages.
Yeah, I love that. All right, we'll be back later on with our psalmist, the Munenes. Amazing conversation. Ethiopia, it's very interesting. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah.